a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I am your host for the day, Alex BlackBelt Lima. You can find me online at BlackBelt_fitness on the gram. And you can get more details about me and the things I do. But you've probably heard me on the show before, and you know, as Brandon does, he brings on experts in all different fields here in the Bay Area. Our lineup today, per the usual, is amazing. We have Mark Haye, our financial expert and guru, our sage for all things financial. I personally utilize his services, and the man is also my friend. And I'm telling you, he knows what he's talking about. Then we have a Commissioner Chris Latvala coming up as well. He's going to tell us about some things going on in Pinellas County. But before we do, we'd like to highlight some of the properties available to you from the Platinum MVP team over at Keller Williams. One property that Brandon and Lindsay currently have for sale is 6026 100th Avenue East. This is in Parrish, Florida. Beautiful home. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,000 square foot. It's completely screened, oversized lanai, 22 by 38. That's pretty big. That's nice. Upgraded bathrooms with tile, floating vanity, and European sink cabinets. You have rock landscaping, large tiled kitchen island. There's 2 new AC units that are still under warranty. There's a 4-foot fence going around, wood laminate flooring in the main area, ceiling fans, got to have your fans in Florida, right? Granite countertops and glass tile backsplash in the kitchen, and a butler's pantry. That's awesome. All you need is the butler. I love it. 6026 100th Avenue East in Parrish, Florida. Another property available from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams, Brandon and Lindsay's awesome real estate team, is 501 Haben Boulevard, Unit 803. This is in Palmetto, Florida. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a flexible office space in addition to it. It's a 1,554 heated square feet. Kitchen showcases real wood cabinets, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. Has a sweeping panoramic views that extend from the Manatee River to the Riviera Dunes of the marina, as well as the tranquil community lake. Amenities include heated pool, climate-controlled storage. There's an underbuilding parking, a picturesque putting green, and entertainment patio. Hurricane impact windows and sliders. This unit is ready to rock. That's 501 Haben Boulevard, Unit 803 in Palmetto, Florida. Let's bring it back in-house here with my man Mark Haye. Mark Haye, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you. Nice to see you hosting again today.
Thank you, man. It's cool. It's was kind of dropped upon me. We'll send our prayers out to Brandon and the family at home. They got somebody that's not feeling too well. We want to see them feeling well. I like to see all my people doing well.
So. That's right. There is a sickness going around.
It really is. You know, fun. Oddly enough, I'm not going to get into the whole story on air, actually, but over this past weekend, I had food poisoning. I haven't had food poisoning. I can think of maybe twice in my life that I've had food poisoning. If you've never had it, I don't recommend it. It's a horrible experience. It's not fun.
Are you sure it wasn't from the Buccaneers losing to the Falcons?
Oh, I mean,
it did make it sick to your stomach.
That added to it for sure. It was a little nauseating.
That was terrible. I like Baker and the Bucks, and we wanted to win that game, but.
You a hockey guy too? Have we talked about
hockey,
this? Oh,
yeah.
dude,
I grew up the Red Wings.
Oh, okay.
Love seeing them come down and play the Lightning.
Yeah, man, I'm a Lightning fan all day, man. I love all that stuff. We're gonna have to go catch a game or something one of these days.
Absolutely.
So, what do you got for us? So, we did as you know, you don't just talk. You do your research, and I guess you did some online digging, and you found something very interesting. Was it Yahoo or online?
Yeah, so it's USA Today and Yahoo Finance, and I always kind of just stream through it every morning. You know, when I'm in the office, just kind of see what's being put out there. So. The title of this one is, how does the U.S. retirement system stack against other countries above average? That's what the title is. So we're above average.
Okay.
All right.
Is the bar pretty low, though?
Well, let's see what above average is.
Okay.
So then it says the U.S. system is funded mostly by individual retirement accounts, IRA, 401ks, etc.
Okay.
Which we talk about that all the time.
Sure.
So they gave a grade out of 100, 100 being the best. We got a 62. So 62 in my book is a D, if not close to the failing rate of any kind of academic.
Yeah, you just barely broke through
the door.
It.
I mean, I think 60 to 70% is a D, right? And then 70 to 80 C, get my point. I don't know how that's above average.
I wouldn't say I'm above average if I'm like only like
62.
60, 70% at something.
You're not passing any tests at 62.
No.
So then they did it out of 47 countries. America is 41 out of 47 is our retirement. So we are one of the worst countries on the planet with our retirement system. And what's crazy is they immediately say, if you want to improve your retirement, start young, and automatically start saving into your 401k. I mean, they go right into what I keep railing against is why wait 30, 40 years? First of all, you can't predict 30, 40 years from now.
No.
You know, when they give you the calculator, the income calculator, how much income are you going to need in 30 years? I don't even know how I'm going to need in 3 years with the inflation and everything else that's happening. That's speculating. That's not investing. That's speculating. And, you know, so for somebody to think 30 years from now, I'm going to need X amount of dollars is insane to me. And we already know that 65-year-old and over right now, only 5% could stop working and have their bills be paid by, you know, other, you know, their investments. So that's a 95% failure rate when you look at 401k, IRA, et cetera. And for them to say it's above average in the title, it's not above average. That's failing. We're failing as a nation. And I really think retirement is a crisis that we really haven't tackled at this moment. But I think it's going to be there, you know, for our generation, et cetera. So I thought it was interesting. I thought I would just share that with you. But
yeah, real quick, what was what was that based off the criteria for that? Like, what were they looking at? What were they analyzing?
So
obviously the retirement. But.
So the retirement system ranks, and what they were looking at is who has the most secure retirement, whatever that means. What is secure? You know, that's a different definition for everybody.
Compared to what, though? Like a village in Uganda that has no, you know, banking
well,
system?
let's see.
Like,
so the top country retirement was Netherlands.
No disrespect to Uganda villages. But
Netherlands, Iceland, and Denmark were the top. And they scored 81% to 85%.
I can see that.
Yep. The worst was Argentina, and India was 45%. So we're at 62. I mean, the worst was 45.
That's crazy.
You know, we're right at the bottom. And for us to, you know, pound our chest and say we're the number one country in the world, then we should have a number one retirement system. You know, we should have that.
We have the potential. We're number one in a lot of things, and like as far as like we are safer. Even with all the crap going on in the United States, we are safer than other countries. I mean, if you want to take a look, not getting too deep into it, but what's going on over in Israel and Gaza and all that stuff right now. But as far as like, yeah, we can't flex like that. Oh, we have the best financial system. I mean,
right.
We have some serious competitors right now that are just chomping at the bit to overtake. They've been wanting to do it for years, right? And now you have all these people, this BRICS alliance and stuff. It is a scary time. Now, I personally believe the U.S. dollar will still hold value, and things are still going to happen. And there are people that are only going to want to do business with us. That will not change. Because let's be honest, no matter how much money these other countries bring in or whatever currency they're going to start trying to utilize, they're still, you really want to do business with tyrannical governments and stuff.
Right. So
there's going to be people just morally that will not do it.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, I do agree with that. But like I say, you know, I'm a different advisor. I don't think you should wait, scrimp, save, budget 30 years to go live your life.
For
you know,
sure.
I think you should do it 3 to 5 years. I think you should increase your cash flow. I think you should be working today to build the lifestyle you want, not wait 30 years.
Definitely.
And so one thing that I always tell people is you got to start thinking about how to turn expenses into deductions. So I just had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with a young couple. I shouldn't say young. I mean, they're my age, 43. But anyways, and we were just talking about.
Still young, man.
Yeah, still young.
Still young, bro.
But let's really think about what you guys like to do. Oh, we're foodies, and we have a little Instagram that we kind of post things on, and we'll go out to restaurants and we'll make a little post about it. I said, there it is. You're food bloggers. Let's create an LLC. You're going to now do this as a job. You're going to develop how many tens of thousands of people follow you. At some point, they're going to pay you to go to these restaurants and give it. You're going to start earning income. But the point is, I don't really care about the income. It's taking the expenses, turning into deductions, stop tipping the IRS. If you do that, your cash flow increases immediately because, again, expenses are now deductions, and you're going to pay the IRS a lot less.
Sure.
So things.
You have to know how to play the game. You have to know the rules of the game, and then you can play.
100%. So rig it in your favor.
Right. Most people
rig
don't
it
know
in your
the
favor.
rules.
Yeah, and we could certainly help you. So the one thing that we talked about was the Augusta rule. I'm going to kind of visit that just a little bit, and then I'm going to give you guys an even better deduction for you business owners out there.
Ooh, can't wait for that.
You got it. So the Augusta rule, again, is a very simple thing, and it came from the golf up in Georgia when they come over there and do their Masters tournament. But you're allowed to rent your personal home or a vacation home 14 days a year to your business, okay? And I tell people all the time, well, how do you determine what that rent's going to be? Or they'll ask me that, okay? How do you determine what my rent's going to be? Again, if you say, okay, it's Thanksgiving. All right, Thanksgiving's coming up, and I'm going to rent my house out, and I'm going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to have people over, and we're going to do this for clients and family and friends. And if you're like me, my clients become my family and friends. My family and friends are my clients. So it's
Sure.
a very easy thing to do.
Circle.
You got it.
Yeah.
So all I would do is I would call up to Vinoy. I said, hey, I need a day of your conference room. I need a conference room. I'm gonna have 50 people. How much is that going to be for Thanksgiving or the day after? $7,500. Can you send that to me, please, in an email? They send me the invoice, and you print that, and that's how much you charge your business. That is how you came to that.
And you have an actual documented comp and quote. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what you don't want to do is charge your business $7,500 when the going rate is $75 a night. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want to stay away from. So that's how you justify it. Now you could do up to 14 days. And if you did 10 days and let's say you average $5,000 per time, that's $50,000 that the business writes off. That's tax free to the individual. Yep. So you don't have to file a tax return. So if you utilize that Augusta rule, and it's not a strict thing. I mean, you can rent that for anything for your business. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're just going to have a client appreciation, a holiday dinner, we're going to have the party, we're going to have a retreat, whatever.
I host fight nights at the house.
You got it. Now 14 days. That's right. You know, just I always tell people just use something that is an expensive place that you would want to use, like a Vinoy or a Don Cesar, or maybe even a wedding venue. Those are very expensive. You know, call up and say, we're going to have 50 people. How much do you charge for a wedding at your venue? And use that as your criteria, print that off, and here's your day time, and here's what we did, and here's how we charged it. We got some people that get to $100,000, $150,000 of Augusta rule every single year, legally and ethically, because they pick days like the Indy cars are in St. Pete in March. Yep. We use that. 4th of July, holidays. You know, pick times. Super Bowl was in Tampa a couple years ago.
Prime times.
Guess what that was? That's a huge Augusta rule for people that live in Tampa, you know, so take advantage of that. And it's certainly an opportunity for a lot of business owners to do that. But everybody that has an LLC, an S Corp, some kind of business, like I said, I don't care about the income. We want to take the expenses, turn into deductions. And there's so many different ways that you can get deductions where you're not going to be paying the IRS or tipping them anymore. And one way is that Augusta rule.
Yeah, I think another critical element there we got to add to is in order to do all this is the way to go, 1,000%. You need a good tax person, though.
Yeah,
you can't just jump in and do your own, turbo whatever.
Yeah, my team that I have a tax person who is the best enrolled agent, can represent all 50 states, can represent you all the way to the Supreme Court. If you're ever audited, you don't even have to be there. He can just take it over and represent you against the IRS. So we have all the people in place to do all this stuff. So when I say that we're a completely different entity as far as advising and helping people, we take personal finance and make it personal again. And we say, okay, let's develop the lifestyle today. Let's develop an LLC. Let's brainstorm what we can do to expand your means, not shrink your means. Let's get the cash flow going. If we can take advantage of, let's just say, the Augusta rule, and we can get $75,000 a year out of that, tax free. Guess what you just did? You just gave yourself $75,000 a year of tax free income, which means you don't have to pay the IRS anymore. You're using the standard deductions and everything else that you're allowed to do. You could pay nothing in taxes, legally and ethically, if you just follow these rules. Now, when that happens and you're not paying the IRS $30,000 a year anymore of income, guess what you can do with that $30,000? Now you can start investing that $30,000 for your lifestyle, for retirement, for whatever you want to do. But we want to keep the money liquid, not lock it up into a 401k for 30 years and hope for the best. So let's keep the money liquid. And that's why I always say put it in the wealth creation account, take that money and leverage it into something else that makes more money. But if you don't ever leverage the money, at least I can guarantee you a tax-free retirement. Here's how much money you're going to have. If you don't make it, here's how much money your family's going to have so they can make it. There's no guessing that, oh, I hope this works out. There's no guessing. And then you take that guarantee and you leverage it into things that you want to do. I want to invest in Airbnb. I want to invest in this building. I want to rent this office space that I want to buy. Whatever that is.
Your travel blog, because you can now afford to travel.
You got it. You get it. So that right there is just one way that I tell people to expand your means. Think about, because we could talk about mutual funds and 401ks all day, but the bottom line is you're not going to get wealthy on a 401k or an IRA. And what if something happens? What if, like today, things are tough? I just saw yesterday an article where it's the most people miss payments on their car payments ever in history is right now.
It's horrible.
So that just goes to show you that people are having a hard time just making ends meet. Well, if you are trained like they train us, which you go to college and take out a big fat student loan, then you get a house and you get a mortgage, then you put your money into a 401k, then pay extra on the mortgage, give the money, extra money to the bank that you can't get back unless they charge you 10% to get the money back. And the problem is you're going to be 45, 50 years old, and all your money is locked up in these institutions that you can't get to, and they're all getting wealthy off of you.
Yep.
now that we know the rules of the game, let's rig it in our favor. Stop giving all the money to the banks, the government. Stop doing all the Wall Street, and let's do it in your pocket. Because I tell people all the time, your biggest asset is not going to be a stock, a real estate, a bond, or a mutual fund. It is you. You are the biggest asset, and the people you surround yourself with are going to be the biggest asset next to you. And if your circle is people that are go-getters and business owners and people that are trying to do things right and trying to get to the next level and level up, guess what you're going to do? You're going to level up too. So I'm just telling you, invest in yourself, not somebody else's boardroom, not somebody else's dreams, but address yourself, your dreams, and we can help you do that. All it is expenses deductions, keep the money liquid, and you're ahead of the game.
Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. You heard it right there, folks. It's he's speaking gospel truth right there. These are things you need to do. That old 401k and all that stuff, it's an antiquated system. And guess what? Not only is it an antiquated thought process and system, it is already proven that it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, more with Mark Haye, and he's going to drop some knowledge on us. He has something brand new, better than the Augusta rule, he claims. We'll find out. Coming back on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon, run, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite, sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host for the day, Alex Lima, filling in for your consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Before we get back to that amazing financial knowledge that Mark Haye was dropping on us, we'd like to showcase one of the properties available to you from the Platinum MVP team over at Keller Williams, Brandon and Lindsay's real estate team. We have 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive in Lando Lakes, Florida. Beautiful Lando Lakes, Florida. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage. 2,334 square feet. This is a 2-story home in the coveted Connerton community. Kitchen boasts a spacious island, ample counter space, abundant cabinets, and a walk-in pantry. The owner's suite features an en-suite with dual vanities, a soaking tub, and a separate walk-in shower. Large backyard with a sheltered rear porch enclosed by a privacy fence, and the community offers dual pools. You have one of them as a lap pool, and you have a splash park for the kids. You have miles of trails and an on-site elementary school. You got your own little village right there in Connerton community. That is 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive in Lando Lakes, Florida. You can see all the properties available to you from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams at platinumcoastalelite.com. Let's bring it back to the house here with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. What's up, my man? So the Augusta rule is amazing. That is so awesome. I can't believe so many people, I never heard about that until I started, until my circle improved. My life was enhanced when I met Mark Haye.
Same thing, paying the kids under 18, $13,800 a year. Again, you can write that off. No tax returns, tax-free. Now, the biggest one that we do for clients is art.
Okay.
If you don't love art, you're going to love art after this 5-minute conversation. Okay. You ever wonder why wealthy people in politics and politicians across the world are always buying art and selling art? And you see, like, they go to these auctions, and they pay $25 million for this piece of art and $2 million for this piece of art, and Hunter Biden's scribbling on it and selling it for $500,000.
Right.
If you buy a piece of art, it's the most unregulated deduction in the IRS code. You can buy a piece of art and be anonymous. All right. Like, for example, if you said, I need to go buy a piece of real estate or I'm going to buy a building, obviously your name's going to be on that.
There's
or
a
if you
paper
buy
trail.
a stock, there's a paper trail. But if you buy art, you don't have to claim anybody, any name. It could just be anonymous. Okay.
It passes hands quite
You got
a bit.
it.
Yeah.
So if we have a business owner that says, okay, after all my deductions, I'm looking at $100,000 of net income, profit. All right. I'm just using that number. And I say to him, okay, why don't you go buy a piece of art for $100,000? Go buy a piece of art. Guess what you can do? You can 100% deduct that art. Now you went from $100,000 of taxable income to 0 of taxable income. You display that art for 3 years, just 3 years. You can leave it in the office, you can leave it in your home, whatever you want to do. And after 3 years, get that appraised. And let's say it comes appraised at $250,000. Okay, just again saying numbers. You can donate that to a school, to a charity of choice, to a museum, to wherever you want, and you can deduct the appraisal again on that one piece of art, $250,000.
Because it's a donation at that
You
point.
got it. So in the front end, you deducted $100,000 because you bought it. On the back end, you deducted $250,000 because that was the appraisal and you gave it away. But here's what you can do that's even better than giving it away. If you don't want to give it away, set up your own art foundation. Guess what you can do? Donate it to your art foundation, and then you keep the art forever, and you got the write-offs.
Oh my goodness!
And that's why all these wealthy people are doing it. You know, because it's unregulated.
Yeah.
You don't have to have your name on it. You can buy this piece of art, and art is subjective. Like, what is art? What is it? Like, okay, I value that at $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go buy that piece of art. That $1 million is deductible to you. Let's use really big numbers. Let's say you have a really big business. We're talking about, let's use Elon Musk because we like Elon Musk.
Sure.
Elon Musk comes to me and says, I got $5 million of taxable income. What do I do? We say, okay, let's go buy a piece of art or art accessory for $5 million. I don't care where you go. It's good at auctions. Just go buy a piece of art. Now he has 0 taxable income for that year. And now he owns this piece of art. Let's say Elon Musk for the next 3-5 years goes on social media, uses Twitter, does all that stuff, and promotes this piece of art.
Yeah.
And this thing is unbelievable. I paid $5 million. This thing's worth so much money. And now all of a sudden he goes and says, I'm going to donate this to my art foundation, and I'm going to have this guy appraise it. And it comes in at $15 million. Okay? He can donate it to his art foundation. He can deduct $15 million off of his tax return that year as a donation. And if he says, no, I don't want to donate it, I want to sell it. I'm going to sell it for $15 million. So there's a big return in there, right? Go buy $15 million worth of art, and you literally just exchange the art for more art, and you don't pay any in taxes. So you could take the deduction, or you could say, I'm going to go buy more art and just exchange it, and you're not paying any taxes. And this is how people legally and ethically get away from not paying taxes. If you're wealthy, you don't even have to be. Just have a business. Show any kind of income at the end of the year. Let's say your income was $10,000. Go buy a piece of art for $10,000. You got 0 income. Guess what you did? You wrote that off. Keep it for 3 years. Get it appraised. Donate it again. Guess what happened? You just get to write that donation off. But let's go fast forward 5 years from now.
Yep.
Okay? You're going to go buy a piece of art that year for whatever amount. Let's use it $100,000. You're going to donate the art that you had 5 years ago for $250,000. That's $350,000 that year that you got to deduct legally and ethically because you bought art, donated art in the same year, and you can do this an unlimited amount of money. There is no cap. That's why you see people go in and pay $25 million at this auction, and it's anonymous buyer, because guess what they're doing? Yeah. They're just avoiding the taxes.
You're like, why did they buy that?
Yeah,
That's so
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. That's amazing, man. We're gonna have to talk more about that.
Absolutely.
Off air. What? How do people reach you?
You can text or call 727-804-7220. I appreciate having me.
Hey, man, always a pleasure, brother.
Talk to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We have Commissioner Chris Latvala coming up next here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Don't go anywhere. ConsumerQB.com.